Welcome, seekers of truth, to today's journey into one of humanity's most profound questions. Does science refute the need for a God? In this video, we'll explore the evidence, philosophies, and groundbreaking discoveries that shape this fascinating debate. Whether you're a believer, skeptic, or curious mind, this exploration will provide thought-provoking insights. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's dive deep. Imagine a photograph of a cluster of galaxies. Think about the sheer poetry of it, the spiritual inspiration that flows from gazing at something so vast and ancient. In this image, every single dot represents an entire galaxy. These galaxies are located an incredible 5 billion light years away from us. The light captured in that picture began its journey before our Sun and Earth even existed. Many of the stars we see in those galaxies have already burned out. If civilizations once thrived around those stars, they too may be long gone. Each galaxy in the image contains about 100 billion stars, and with them, the potential for countless worlds and stories that may now only exist as whispers of the past. This perspective opens your mind to endless wonder. It's awe-inspiring to think about the impermanence of it all, and the interconnectedness of life, light, and time. Science may not always provide the kind of direct comfort we seek. It doesn't offer fairy tale endings. But it can and should provide something deeper, a sense of wonder, a kind of spiritual consolation. As children, we're told stories about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, delightful myths that bring joy and comfort. But eventually, we grow up and learn how the world truly works. At first, the truth might feel less magical, but there's a profound power in understanding reality. It shows us that we are not at the mercy of whims and myths. We have control over our lives and our destinies. By embracing the truth and marveling at the universe's grandeur, we find a deeper, more enduring kind of inspiration. One that reminds us of our place in the cosmos and encourages us to live with curiosity, resilience, and wonder. Understanding reality is empowering. As a good parent, you strive to teach your children to become independent, strong, and capable. Yet, many religious traditions encourage us to remain part of the flock, treating us as though we're children who need the comfort of fables rather than the truth of reality. At first glance, these revelations might seem disheartening, but they're not. In fact, they should make you feel empowered and grateful. Think about it. Despite the vast indifference of the cosmos, you're alive. You exist here and now on a quiet little planet orbiting a nondescript star in an unremarkable galaxy. By sheer chance, you are endowed with a consciousness capable of reflecting on your own existence. That's extraordinary. Science offers a unique kind of consolation. By facing reality, you liberate yourself. You let go of comforting illusions and instead embrace the incredible improbability of your own life. This clarity doesn't diminish the wonder of existence, it amplifies it. Now, consider the idea of a creator, a being capable of designing particles, atoms, molecules, DNA cells, organisms, planets, and entire universes. Such a being would have to be unimaginably complex, far more complex than anything it created. But invoking such a being doesn't answer the big questions. It only raises more. Accepting the reality revealed by science is not just liberating, it's humbling and awe-inspiring. It reminds us how precious our fleeting moments of existence are and how lucky we are to be conscious participants in the grand story of the universe. Here's a more engaging rewrite of your script. When theistic arguments insist that every creation must have a creator, they inadvertently lead to an infinite chain of creators. If God created the universe, who created God? And if there's a God's God, who created that entity? The logic spirals infinitely. You can't simply say, the chain stops at my God. After all, the very argument began by asserting that complex systems require a designer. If you claim the designer is that which does not need to be created, then why not apply the same reasoning to the universe itself? Why can't the universe be the uncreated entity, the eternal existence that requires no designer? If the universe, as a thing, must have a creator, then why not argue that God, also a thing or an agent, must have a creator as well? This question reveals a deeper truth about human psychology. Evolution has wired us to see intention and purpose in the world around us. For early humans, attributing meaning to natural events helped them navigate a dangerous, unpredictable world. Rituals and myths provided explanations for the sun, the moon, the wind, the oceans, and countless other forces. These narratives gave structure and comfort to human lives in an otherwise indifferent universe. However, as our physical understanding of the world has advanced, we've begun to replace these intentional explanations with scientific ones. Slowly but surely, we've moved from invoking gods to explain nature to uncovering the natural processes that shape our reality. This shift doesn't diminish the wonder of existence, it enhances it. By understanding the universe as it truly is, we embrace its beauty, complexity, and mystery without needing to invoke an endless chain of creators. Once upon a time, humans explained the world through gods like Mars, the god of war, Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea, and Thor, the god of storms. Today, most of us are atheists regarding those deities, and for good reason. Science has shown us that the universe operates through natural laws, not the whims of capricious beings. Instead of divine intervention, we've discovered a deep, elegant order in nature. This order, governed by the laws of physics and described through mathematics, allows us not only to predict the future, but also to shape it. We no longer need supernatural explanations to understand the world. Yet, the simple act of questioning the necessity of God is sometimes viewed as taboo or even evil. But the real danger lies in stopping the act of questioning altogether. Science thrives on curiosity and skepticism. It's what pushes us forward. We must also recognize our natural tendency to believe what we want to believe. As Fox Mulder famously said, "We want to believe, but we should be cautious of that impulse." Physicist Richard Feynman wisely warned that the easiest person to fool is yourself. As scientists, or anyone seeking the truth, we must train ourselves to be skeptical even of our own desires and assumptions. Humans are wired to find meaning and significance in the world around us. We ask why, because it's in our nature. But by embracing a skeptical mindset and relying on evidence, we've moved closer to understanding the universe as it truly is, free of myths and full of awe-inspiring truths. The question why is often misleading because it assumes there's a purpose, a reason for existence, before we've even explored the evidence. But what if there is no inherent purpose? Does there even need to be one? Science tells us there's no evidence for an underlying purpose in the universe. In that sense, the why question is fundamentally flawed. Opponents of this idea often resist evidence and cling to notions of purpose to avoid confronting reality. By showing us there's no requirement for purpose, science has also challenged the necessity of invoking God as an explanation. Think about it. Is it really a simpler explanation to claim that the universe was created by a divine being who has existed forever? Isn't it more straightforward to consider that the universe itself might have always existed? Some argue that the universe hasn't existed forever because science points to the Big Bang as the beginning. They believe this supports a creationist view, but that's not what science actually says. Science tells us that the observable universe began about 13.8 billion years ago with a rapid expansion, what we call the Big Bang. Beyond that, science doesn't make claims. It doesn't declare the universe was created. It simply observes and describes what it can. In this way, science doesn't affirm divine creation. It focuses on the observable, measurable truths of our cosmos. And sometimes, the simplest explanation is the most liberating one. The universe exists, and we are here to marvel at it. There's no compelling argument to suggest that the hypothesis of a divine creator is any stronger than the hypothesis that the universe has always existed. From a logical perspective, the burden of proof lies with those claiming God's existence, not with skeptics to disprove it. After all, I can't disprove the existence of Apollo, Zeus, or any other gods from mythology. What we can do is weigh the probabilities based on cumulative evidence. Does the evidence support the idea of a god, or does it not? This isn't about proving an atheist hypothesis. There's no such thing. Either you think there's evidence for a god, or you don't. There's no alternative view that requires defense. Many arguments for God follow a predictable formula. X looks created whether X is the eye, the universe, planets, or DNA. I can't imagine how X could have been created naturally, so it must have been created supernaturally. But this line of reasoning has been challenged before, even by great scientists. Isaac Newton, for example, marveled at the alignment of the planets in the flat plane of the ecliptic. All the planets orbit in this same plane, moving in the same direction. With the exception of Pluto, Newton found it so extraordinary that he believed it must have been designed by God. Yet, over time, science has shown that natural processes can explain these phenomena. The evidence continues to build against the need for a supernatural designer. And as we uncover more about the universe, the God of the gaps retreats further into the unknown. The question isn't whether X looks designed, it's whether there's evidence to support that design. And so far, the natural explanations are winning the argument. Pluto may no longer be considered a planet, but that's not really a problem. What's fascinating is how people used to explain things they couldn't understand. For instance, Isaac Newton himself once said he couldn't imagine how the precise alignment of the planets in the solar system could have come about naturally. To him, this alignment was proof of divine providence, a creator's hand at work. But no one uses that argument anymore. Why? Because science has given us a clear, natural explanation for how solar systems form. All you need are gravity and the right conditions matter distributed at certain distances, moving and clumping together over time. Planets form naturally, no divine intervention required. Today, we know that nearly every star in the galaxy has planets orbiting it. This is not the work of a supernatural force, it's simply the result of natural processes. There's no need for a god to stir the particles or guide the formation of worlds. This pattern has played out throughout the history of science. When faced with mysteries, people have often invoked a god of the gaps, saying, "I can't explain this, so it must be supernatural." But scientists keep filling those gaps. That's what science does. It uncovers the natural mechanisms behind what once seemed unexplainable. And as the gaps shrink, so does the space for these supernatural explanations. If faith relies on those gaps on things, science has yet to explain what happens to that faith when the gaps are eventually filled. The lesson is clear: anchoring belief to the unknown isn't sustainable. Science keeps moving forward, and the gaps keep disappearing. People often point to things like the fine-tuning of the cosmos, DNA, or the complexity of the human eye and say, you can't explain that, it must be divine. But what happens when science does explain it? When we unravel the mystery and show that it happened naturally, what then? Where does that leave the faith that was tethered to those unexplained gaps? That's the real problem with anchoring belief to the unknown. Take this photograph, for example. It's an image of Saturn captured by the Cassini spacecraft during a total eclipse of the sun, seen from the vantage point of Saturn. It's stunning, but the most profound detail isn't Saturn itself. If you look closely, you'll find a tiny dot, a pale blue dot. That dot is Earth. On that fragile speck, all of humanity's joys and struggles unfold. Every political conflict, every moral dilemma, every triumph and tragedy. All of it condensed to a mere point of light in a vast dark void. This is the story we should be telling our children, not one of fear or gaps in understanding, but one of awe. Awe for the incredible place we occupy in the cosmos. Awe for our ability to reflect, to learn, and to marvel at our universe. The pale blue dot reminds us how small we are, but also how special. That's the kind of story that inspires wonder and curiosity, the kind that ignites a love of learning and discovery. For centuries, humanity attributed natural phenomena to divine beings. Thunder? That was Zeus. The stars? Guided by gods. But as science advanced, it replaced supernatural explanations with natural laws. Newton's laws of motion, Darwin's theory of evolution, and Einstein's relativity demystified the universe, showing us that complex phenomena could arise without divine intervention. This shift doesn't outright reject the idea of a god, but it reduces the need to invoke one for everyday occurrences. Science's ability to provide consistent, testable, and repeatable explanations marks a turning point, challenging the idea that divine intervention is necessary to understand our world. Let's talk about the origins of the universe. Religious texts often describe creation as the work of a deity, but science offers the Big Bang theory, a singularity exploding into the vast cosmos we inhabit today. Cosmologists argue that this event doesn't require divine action. Quantum physics suggests particles can appear out of nothing, potentially negating the need for a creator. Critics might ask, what caused the Big Bang? But instead of relying on a deity, scientists turn to hypotheses like multiverses or quantum fluctuations. These theories, while incomplete, emphasize that the universe's origins may not demand divine orchestration, relying instead on the mysterious yet natural mechanics of physics. Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection is another significant milestone in understanding life's diversity without invoking a divine hand. Evolution explains how complex organisms evolved from simpler forms over billions of years. From the fossil record to genetic evidence, the theory remains one of science's most robust frameworks. Welcome to Blessovia Science TV, where we take you on an exhilarating journey through the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of science. We are excited to offer you the opportunity to become a valued member of our ever-growing community of cosmic enthusiasts and knowledge seekers. Exclusive access to cosmic content. As a member of Blessovia Science TV, you will gain exclusive access to a treasure trove of cosmic content, including documentaries, interviews with leading scientists, space missions updates, and awe-inspiring visualizations of the universe, live Q, and sessions with experts. Your membership will grant you the chance to participate in live Q and sessions with renowned scientists, astronomers, and space explorers. Get your burning questions answered by those who push the boundaries of human knowledge. Embark on a journey that spans the cosmos and join us in unraveling the secrets of the universe. Become a Blessovia Science TV member today, and together we will reach for the stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave your comment.